Alola! Welcome to the next video in a series where I tell you that you've never used a certain team. We have gone through so many regions, and finally, we're here for Pokemon Sun and Moon. Figured we'd talk so much about the Ultra games that we may as well do the original releases for this video. So I suppose all there is for you guys to do is to sit back, relax, and formulate your plan to argue back at me that you've used this team. Before we start though, I have a new channel called Mystic Reads where I read anime fanfics, so that's up your alley, consider checking it out. Also, over on Mystic Umbreon Shorts, we're doing 5 facts about every single Pokemon every single day. And if we can hit 5,000 subscribers, I have a very special top 5 series I'm going to be doing over on Mystic Umbreon Shorts. So let's get there. So with that, let's get started. We'll get this team kicked off with the true starter Pokemon, Slowbro. You can get Slowpoke on Route 1. And yeah, that's a nice little starter replacement. I think Slowbro definitely could be a Pokemon people were using in Alola, so it's not exactly the most out there Pokemon to start with. Though I highly doubt anyone is boxing their starter Pokemon to use Slowpoke, so at least we have that to go off of. It evolves at level 37, so it'll be around for a while. But thankfully, Slowpoke will have a bunch of support from the rest of the team as it works towards evolving. So with that, let's peek in on the moves. The moveset on Slowbro today is Scald, Psychic, Shadow Ball, and Blizzard. So Scald is going to be learned via TM, and that will be found on Brooklyn Hill through the Route 5 entrance. Then there's Psychic, which is learned via a TM you'll get from Wick in the Ether Paradise. You'll get Shadow Ball as a TM on Route 14 when you surf on the water a little bit. Finally, we have Blizzard. You can buy that TM in the Seafolk Village in the later game. So we're going to follow up on Slowbro with a grass type, and it'll be Laurentis. You can find Fomantis in the Lush Jungle and on Route 5, and it'll evolve during the day at level 34 into Laurentis. This Mantis is a pretty good Pokemon, and one I think probably was used by plenty of people when first playing Sun and Moon, myself included. It's not exactly a rare Pokemon to see on a team, is what I'm saying. So it's not like some big shocker on this team that really drives the theme home. That's alright though, because like I always say, I enjoy putting in at least 1 or 2 Pokemon that do see usage on teams to help make it even more challenging for myself. The moveset for our Laurentis is Leaf Blade, X-Scissor, Aerial Ace, and Poison Jab. When you have Leaf Blade, that means you're at level 23, and to have such a good move that early is of course a great thing. Then with X-Scissor, you'll get that on Route 16 as a TM. But if using Leech Life is of more interest to you, you can find that in the Akala outskirts. Aerial Ace may be purchased in Mile City, with Poison Jab being found right outside of Po Town on Route 17. Who wants a Pikachu clone? Not too many people, at least in Alola, because Togedemaru kind of sucks. I am including it on this team as well, since sucking is a big part of what makes these teams never used. It's available on Blush Mountain, which, in theory, is later than you'd like to add a Pokemon like this to your team. And with the options surrounding it on that mountain, it's further proof that nobody wants to use this thing, unless they find it cute or something. Let's check the moveset and move on from this boring rodent. Discharge, Gyro Ball, U-Turn, and Grass Knot are our Togedemaru moves today. This isn't a great moveset at all. So that really helped me decide on using Togedemaru like I alluded to earlier. It ain't a good Pokemon. People normally don't want to use it anyway. So with Discharge, that's learned at level 29. And then Gyro Ball is learned via a TM you get on Route 11. The U-Turn TM is found in Mile City for a small price. And then finally Grass Knot's TM is found in the Lush Jungle. So with the second half of the team, we've got a bunch of really interesting Pokemon that potentially can all be pretty decent. But again, I don't think anyone is imagining putting them together. We start with Primeape, located on Route 3 as a Mankey. It'll join its first gen brethren Slowpoke as an early addition to the team, and will evolve into Primeape at level 28. I can't see, with all the fighting type representation that Alola got, anyone choosing to use Primeape on their team. While it has decent speed and attack, there's nothing all that special about it as a pure fighting type. Though I do feel it's got a great move pull if nothing else. Let's take a look. Primeape has got Close Combat, Outrage, Acrobatics, and Earthquake. This is definitely the most heavy-hitting looking moveset so far for sure. It gets Close Combat at level 39, with some other fighting type moves of course before then. Then Outrage is learned at level 53. That's really late into things. Acrobatics is learned via TM, and you'll find that on 10 Corette Hill pretty early into your adventure. Finally, we close things out with Earthquake, yet another pretty late game move found in Resolution Cave on Pony Island. But you know what? Let's keep the first generation power going. I think the one thing we're missing is a fire type right now, and Arcanine would be a phenomenal choice. It's probably actually put on teams in Alola often, and deservingly so. Growlithe is available early on Route 2, and then a Firestone really isn't hard to find. While there are actually a decent amount of fire type options in Sun and Moon, Arcanine is just as deserving of making an appearance on any team, and is a nice lesser used option that shouldn't really be that way. So we've got Thunder and Fire Fang for Arcanine alongside Flamethrower and Earthquake. The two elemental Fang moves are able to be heart scaled onto Arcanine, though Growlithe does learn Fire Fang at level 21. Flamethrower is learned at level 34 too. I'd recommend evolving Growlithe after you learn that. Finally, I explained Earthquake already. Go ahead and teach it that when you can, and maybe use Bulldoze until then. So we're at the final Pokemon, and one would say that this is the most important one on the squad. It's the final linchpin that confirms if this is truly a team nobody has used or not. I had so many Pokemon to choose from, but one stood out from the rest. So much versatility and so much potential. That's what I see when I look at Smeargle. It's able to learn anything, and is just so bizarre. Nobody is using Smeargle. Let's make that clear. It's an afterthought for any normal person. Available on Route 2, where so many better Pokemon make their home. It's a perfect closing for the team. Not strong at all, and easily forgettable. So, give the Smeargle whatever you want. You get Sketch a bunch of times. Just use whatever moves you come across that you really want to use. There's no guideline here. It's all about what a player themselves wants. So, that's it for this team. We had Slowbro, Laurentis, Togedemaru, Primeape, Arcanine, and Smeargle. Guys, I'm gonna say it. This is it. This is the most unused team we've featured so far. I'm super confident in saying that this is too weird for anyone to be just like, oh yeah, I'm using these guys. I know there will be someone in the comments right now saying they've used this team randomly, or they had a friend whose 6 Pokemon were these creatures. But just know, I don't believe you. We'll do Sword and Shield next time, so be on the lookout for that. With that, I'll see you guys then.